These are the Koss KSC75, an over-ear headphone model that kind of looks cheap and nasty, right? They look like I pulled them directly from an archive of outdated technology and extremely dated-looking design, and all wrapped up in a very, very early 2000s silver-grey plastic construction, thin foam earpads, and the most basic black plastic sheathed cable you can possibly imagine. But here's the thing, this is not old stock I've dug up from eBay or something of a classic headphone model. These are brand spankin' new. And they're not even a recreation of some classic technology like, I think Audio-Technica recently brought back the Soundburger, this record player thing, which was just a gimmick back in the day, but now it's a collectible for idiot millennials or whatever. But no, these have in fact been on the market and have been in continuous production since 2005. How do these nasty-looking, wired, over-ear, clearly visible wire hook things survive in a day and age of uncountable earpod knockoffs and new in-ear true wireless Bluetooth headphone models released every 32 seconds? Well, believe it or not, they're just a little bit legendary. They're still around because they're good. Like really good, especially for the price you pay. And if you, like me, have been out there looking for a lightweight, over-ear, wired headphone that you wanted to use for your VR headset, and you've not yet come across these, or haven't pulled the trigger on these almost suspiciously cheap, almost 20-year-old, $20 headphones, well, hi. Welcome to a review all about them in this year of our Lord Zuckerberg and the MetaQuest 3. I am Blunty, and you already know this is the bit of the video where I grovel for any kind of interaction from you, ideally a thumb or a comment or a sub, or all three, give them a whack. So thank you to those of you out there who've spent a few seconds of your day doing those things to help me and this video out of YouTube's hellmouth robot brain. So, the Koss KSC75. Like I said, they came into the world in 2005, which was a pretty rough year if you like to go to the movies. Eesh. The KSC75 was released as a cheaper, wired version of their popular KSC35 model, which were themselves released to be an ear clip style version of their also popular Porta Pro Bluetooth headphones. And the one thing they all have in common is a very special driver. They all use an in-house developed speaker driver design, which itself has been in consistent production for basically 40 years. It wasn't broke, so they never tried to fix it. They got it right and stopped fiddling with it. Hintity hint hint, some other brands out there. Now, while at a glance they do look like just any other cheap headphone from the late 90s, they might even look like some bullshit cheapo throwaway headphone you got on an airplane once. But the 35mm dynamic driver with a 60 ohm impedance has a decades-long reputation of punching way above its weight when it comes to sound quality. A lot, and by a lot I mean like 98% of headphones around these days are horrifically tuned, catastrophically heavy on bass to the point of being so muddy they have to overtune the mids, otherwise you can't hear a damn thing, so I have to kick those in the guts to stand any chance of hearing vocals clearly at all, and never mind the concept of crisp treble, and never mind what all of this headphone bullshit has done to sound mixing on the studio side of things, which just drives me insane. Hey, whatever happened to dynamic range in music? But I'll take a break from shaking my fist at the cloud and tell you that these don't do that. In fact, I imagine if I put these on the head of someone who was barely wiping their own ass by the time Hugh Jackman first popped claws, I'd get a very confused look on their face about how these sound. No, these are way crisper, much cleaner. The KSC75s in particular use a variant of the classic driver, notable in the use of a titanium coating. This titanium coating versus the non-titanium coated version offers a little more focus on the upper side of the frequency spectrum. Combine this with their relatively loose fit over the ear and the open back design, and all of that means the bass is a lot more subdued. Which is not to say they sound thin, because, you know, they look like they would sound thin. If you've ever put a pair of headphones on your ears that look even close to these, you know what I'm talking about. Most of them sound thin, tinny, awful, hissy crap. But these don't. These offer a clean, pronounced bass. It's not the muddy, rumbling, skull-vibrating bass that you find on most of today's headphones, but it's there, and it's clean. This is the kind of sound profile audio nerds and self-proclaimed audiophiles might call good for critical listening, which is, in less pretentious terms, just a way of saying the sound signature these produce is a clean, even sound across the board. Are they a match for what I'd call a studio headphone? No, just they're not. No, they're not. Despite the sound profile being closer to what you would expect in a studio headphone or something, especially compared to the average headphone tuning these days, they're a fair walk from that park too. And no, instead, these are just the cheapest way I have ever found to get a properly good, clean sound that isn't futzed with. They are, without a doubt, a lot brighter in sound than a lot of people might be used to these days, but it is a very even response across the curve and very, I keep saying the word, it's a really clean sound. That's the best way I have to try and communicate to you how these sound. It's clean, it's crisp, it's clear. You can spend more and you will get better, no question. But frankly, until you spend like 4 or 5 times more, you're really unlikely to get better. I mean, hell, my personal favorite open back headphones, the Epos H6 Pro open backs, are 9 times more expensive than these, which, by the way, on that point, Epos aren't doing their gaming headphone line stuff anymore. They're walking away from the gaming market. So if you want another pair of the H6 Pros or, a spare pair, or you haven't bought them yet, now's the time to buy. They really are amazingly superb. I did a review about them. I don't even know how many years ago. I've been using them ever since, and I love them, and very, very upset that Epos aren't doing them anymore. The link in the pinned comment for those. And I don't know, you're asking the question, well, why don't I just keep using those headphones? Well, I do on a daily basis. If you ever come to one of my live streams on Twitch, you'll see me wearing the damn things. But what these Koss headphones do that my H6 Pros don't is work really, really comfortably for VR. For my Quest 2 and my Quest 3 now, I use an aftermarket strap for a vastly superior fit and for way, way better long-term comfort. And while both the Quest 2 and Quest 3 have decently adequate pair of speakers built into the little arm thingies, there's a reason Meta still put a headphone socket on there too, because, they're useful, but they're not amazing. And unfortunately, the nature of the more robust strap systems that I prefer mean they can often interfere with the comfort and fit of regular headphones, especially over-ear types. Or they just make it kind of an extra pain in the ass to put on and take off the headset because it's another strap that goes over your head in addition to the other straps that go over your head, and you have to take one off and then the other. It's a fuss. I don't love it. And again, at a crisp $20, I figured it was damn well worth a shot. And yeah, as you may have figured out, by the way I've been talking throughout this entire video, I can and will recommend these rather happily. They're fuss-free to use with VR, perfectly comfortable and free of interfering with the aftermarket headbands, and you can even tie up the loose cable in the overhead strap to keep it tidy too, so you got nothing dangling down. That's what she said. Heck, I can even clip them onto... Did I really just do a "that's what she said" gag in 2023? I'm sorry. What was I saying? I can clip them onto the headband to keep them from dangling around when the headset is off, and they just kind of stay put there, which is kind of useful. They clip lightly but securely over the ear. I haven't had them fly off my head yet in any VR I've been doing. And the plastic-coated metal ear clip mean you can easily bend these little clips for a perfect custom fit for your personal comfort preference. And the sound is, as you might imagine, a lot cleaner and crisper than the built-in speakers, which again, on the Quest 3, the built-in speakers are surprisingly good, a little bit better than the Quest 2 ones. I like them, they're fine. These are better. The soundstage is incomparably better, being, on your ear instead of pointed vaguely at your head. It leads to a vastly better audio experience in general for movies and music and whatnot, of course, and a fantastic situational awareness kick in games and social applications. So yeah, there's a reason these incredibly humble-looking headphones have indeed lasted unchanged for coming up on 20 years. I wouldn't mind so much if they updated the design a bit because, well, frankly, they're a bit ugly. I mean, I'm just wearing them in my own home and in VR, so not even I can see them on my head. But they're not good-looking headphones. But Koss are smart enough to not try fixing what just isn't broke. And even these inexpensive, ugly, wired headphones still earn their place in the world. So, thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this interesting and or useful. If you did, hopefully you've already done the thing. We've left a comment and thumb and subbed and belled and whatnot. If you haven't already, now's the time. Thank you very much. And thank you, as always, to the patrons scrolling up above, whose above me on support is fantastic. Catch you next time.